the Para Cave podcast, proudly brought to you by major sponsor Jack's Pale Ale, exclusively available at Parramatta Leisure Club, Shannon Cooney from Glenmore Park Realty, BTZD Clothing, and the official media partner of the Para Cave podcast, the Parramatta Times.
G'day, it's Gus Walland here from Gotcha for Life and Triple M. I'd love to invite you along to the Mental Fitness Gym. Go to the mentalfitnessgym.org. That is a place where you can pick up some exercises to build your mental fitness, to work on that emotional muscle, those muscles in your head that are so powerful. Please come and join us at the mentalfitnessgym.org for all that stuff to build your emotional muscle and your mental fitness.
Welcome to another episode of the Para Cave podcast. And now over to your host, Troy Warner, broadcasting live from the world-famous Para Cave.
And yes, hello, welcome back to another episode of the Para Cave podcast. Troy Warner here, and that is Rugby League done for season 2024 with the Pacific Championships finals being played yesterday at CommBank Stadium. 4 games, 4 super games, 4 international games being played in Parramatta at CommBank Stadium. And look, wasn't it great to see a massive Tongan turnout? You would almost think that it was a Tongan home game with the amount of support that they had. There was red and white everywhere. Basically, inside the stadium, it was a sea of red. I unfortunately wasn't there at the game, but I did see many videos sent to me, and you could see it on the TV as well, that it was just basically inside and outside the stadium. It was a sea of red, and look, that is great for the international game, that is for sure. And look, just a quick question to you, the listeners. I just wanted to ask you, do you think that it would have been the same atmosphere or same crowd attendance if New Zealand were playing in the final against Australia yesterday? That's a pretty interesting point, I think. I don't think there would have been as big a crowd. The Tongans, they are certainly passionate about their rugby league, and they show that through their crowd support, and also making the final as well was a massive achievement. As soon as they made that final after defeating New Zealand in that game last week, 25 points to 24, you knew that it was going to be a massive crowd. And look, they even celebrated after the game as if they won the game. That's just the way they are, and it's great to see them do that. But it all kicked off in the mid-morning yesterday, and it was Samoa taking on the PNG Orchids in the Pacific Championships for women. Now, this was the promotion/relegation game. So the Pacific Cup and the Pacific Bowl are the 2 competitions that run underneath the banner of the Pacific Championships. And this was PNG were in the Cup side of things, Samoa were in the Bowl side of things. And this game was determining who would be in that 3rd position for the Pacific Cup in 2025. Now, PNG, they are the incumbents. Unfortunately, they went down yesterday to Samoa, 34 points to 12. Now, look, it was pretty much a game that was dominated by Samoa. It was 16-0 at half-time. Elsie Albert for the PNG side, the Parramatta NRLW player, scored both of PNG's tries. And look, it was great to see Elsie get those tries for PNG, but unfortunately they lost the game. They had a player sent off for a dangerous tackle late in the game, and they lost the game, so now they are unfortunately relegated to the Pacific Bowl, and Samoa jump into the Pacific Cup, which will consist of Australia and New Zealand, who played in the final of the Pacific Cup. A little bit confusing, I know, but congratulations to Samoa. They got promoted into that cup situation for next year, and they also along the way as well earned their spot in the 2026 World Cup. So congratulations to coach Jamie Soward and the entire Samoan team as well for that achievement. The second game on the schedule yesterday at CommBank Stadium was another cracking game. It was the Jillaroos taking on the Kiwi Ferns in the Pacific Championships Cup final for women, and it was the Jillaroos who got away with that win. 24 points to 4. It was 12-0 at half time, I should say. Taryn Aiken, 2 from 5 conversions. Look, she had a few tough ones from the sideline that only just missed. Julia Robinson, she got the first try of the game, and I think got the most tries for the tournament, to be honest. Isabel Kelly, she got a try as well. Tiana Penatani, she has scored in all 3 games. Tamika Upton and that lady there, Taryn Aiken, scored a try as well and got the player of the match in that game. 5 tries to 1. The Kiwis, they just never seem to be in this game, to be honest. They had a few opportunities to score, but they couldn't convert those opportunities into tries, and they only scored the 1 try in the game, and that was very late in the game. So look, they'll be disappointed about that, and considering I think they won last year against the Jillaroos. So the Jillaroos now, they look forward to Vegas in 2025, where they will play the English women's team over there in Las Vegas as part of round 0, as they call it. 4 NRL teams going over there, and I believe it's Wigan and Warrington, I think, going over there for the English game, and also the Jillaroos taking on the English women's side. So look, they'll be looking forward to that one as well. Looks many standouts in this Australian side. Congratulations also to Ali Brigginshaw, who played her 25th Test match for Australia. Fantastic record there. All the ladies were wearing Ali Brigginshaw shirts, I think, on the day of the game or the day before the captain's run. They posted them all on social media, and but congratulations to Ali, a great servant of Australian Women's Rugby League, and will potentially go down in history as maybe an immortal of Australian Women's Rugby League. Definitely go into the Hall of Fame, that is for sure, when she does retire, which, look, I am thinking will probably be in a couple of years' time after that next World Cup, I reckon. That might be the swan song for Ali Brigginshaw. A tremendous career in the green and gold. But look, Millie Elliott, she was a standout in this competition as well. As I mentioned before, Tiana Penatani scored tries in all games. Isabel Kelly as well, but Julia Robinson as well had a great series as well. And the simple fact of the matter is as well that Olivia Koenig, the NRLW Player of the Year, didn't even get a start in this competition. So to leave the calibre of that sort of a player out of this side, they still got the job done with a massive win over the PNG side, a defeat of the Kiwis in New Zealand, and also in the final as well. So congratulations to them. Now, the next game was an absolute belter of a game. It was the men's, and after the 2 women's games, it was the men's turn in the Pacific Championships, and this was the cup final. It was the Kangaroos taking on the Tongan side. So look, 4-3. Tonga actually scored the first try through Sione Katoa in the 6th minute. That was a try right in the corner. How good was that one? But then Hamaso Tabuai-Fidow, he scored Australia's first try. And look, it was a bit touch and go, I thought, when I first saw it in fast motion, and even in fast motion when I first saw it, I thought, oh, geez, has he got it? I don't think he was that confident either, or that sure that he got that try either when he got up and, I guess, sort of, he didn't really celebrate, to be honest. He just sort of thought that he might have scored the try, but it was confirmed. Xavier Coates got the next try, and Tom Trbojevic got the next 2 for Australia. So, look, it was the Tom and Tom show, wasn't it? Tom Dearden, he got the man of the match in this game. He had an absolute cracker. He made a couple of breaks and set up Tom Trbojevic in one of his tries, and made a break for another one as well. I think it was the first try to the hammer, I think. But he had an outstanding game. And look, that offers another question. A tough choice for the Queenslanders again next season. Obviously this year, Cameron Munster, he was injured for the Origin series and wasn't available for this series either. But Tom Dearden, wow, he has stepped it up, and he was one of Queensland's best, and now he was one of Australia's best in this series as well. So, look, they've got a difficult decision next year if Cameron Munster is available for both teams, and if Tom Dearden continues on that playing form in 2025, who gets the nod at number 6 for Queensland and Australia. So, at the moment, you'd probably have to say that Tom Dearden have to get the start, even though how great a player Cameron Munster is, and we have seen that in the past for Queensland and Australia, and obviously the Melbourne Storm. He will just have to, I guess, I don't know, play out of his skin to get that number 6 jersey back. It is a tough one, isn't it? Who do you put in that number 6 jersey? Do you put Tom Dearden in a 14 role? I don't know. Cameron Munster, he'll probably have to play out of his skin to get that spot back. But the way at the moment, you'd give it to Tom Dearden. Tom Trbojevic, what a great thing it was for him to come back into this Australian side after having an injury-riddled season with Manly. He scored tries, I think, in every game as well for Australia. Certainly loved playing against Tonga. He has scored, I think, 4 tries in 3 games, I think, against Tonga, so he loves playing against them. And it just got me thinking again, watching Tom Trbojevic play at CommBank Stadium. He must love playing there as well, because I dare say he scored a few tries for Manly against Parramatta. I'm pretty sure he has in recent years anyway. So he would love playing there as well. Zach Lomax, 2 out of 4 conversions. 2 of them were from the same spot. One went to the right-hand side of the upright. One went to the left-hand side of the upright. Usually a pretty good goal kicker. I guess he was cheering when Tommy went underneath the post, I think, and scored one of his tries that he got an easy kick. But look, that's Zach's home ground next year. He obviously will get used to the conditions there. And look, that's a podcast for another day. Who do you have as Parramatta's goal kicker? Do you have Zach Lomax or do you have Mitchell Moses as their goal kicker? But anyway, as I said, that's a podcast for another day. Look, it was 14-4 at half time, so only a 10-point difference. You thought potentially the Tongans could come back, But if the Australians, if they did score first in that second half, you thought that would make it harder for the Tongans to come back. Australia did that. Tommy scored his second try in the 42nd minute, and you thought that could have been potential danger signs for the Tongan side. He actually had a no try, after he scored his first try in the 35th minute. Pretty much straight after that, Tonga made a error by kicking out on the full. Australia got down the other end, but he got held up by his Manly teammate, the Tongan fullback Lehigh Hopewadi, who held him up over the line. So he very nearly got 2 tries in 2 minutes, pretty much. And look, if he did score that second try after his first, that really would have crushed the Tongans, I felt. But he did score that try right after half-time, and you thought then that potentially that could be danger signs for this Tongan side, with the Australians scoring a try right after half-time. Fortunately for them, though, that was the last of Australia's scoring. They managed to hold on, though, and the Tongans, they did have a late fight back. Hamoli Olakawatu got a try. Eli Katoa got a try. And you thought maybe they could go for a extra time in this final, but they've unfortunately fell short in this game. But look, they did really well in this tournament. They lost to the Australians 18-0 in that first game up at Suncorp Stadium. They managed to get the win over New Zealand by 1 point, 25 points to 24, and they really gave it to the Kangaroos in this game. Their first couple of sets in defence, they were absolutely brutal. There were some massive hits in their first few sets from the Tongans, as we have come to expect. Even some of their charges through the middle, Adam Fanua-Blake and also Jason Taumalolo as well, they took up where they left off last week against New Zealand. But it's maybe I was sitting there watching it yesterday, and I was thinking potentially that's taken the juice out of the Tongan side, and the Kangaroos were able to withstand that, and they obviously got the win in the end. So maybe those first little onslaughts really took it to the Tongan side, took it out of the Tongan side, and the Kangaroos went on with it and got the win. So congratulations to the Kangaroos as well, and Isaiah Yeo, first time Australian captain. They will be loving the fact that they are Pacific Championships champions, especially after that 30-0 loss to New Zealand last year in New Zealand. So they were waiting, I guess, for this moment for 12 months and wanted to redeem themselves and obviously get this win. And full credit to them. We saw a couple of debutantes this year, most notably Zach Lomax and Mitchell Moses for the Australian side. And look, they played out of their skin as well. Zach Lomax, he is nominated for a Golden Boot, which is the best player in internationals. He's had a wow of a season this season on the wing, mind you. And again, that's a podcast for another day. Some debutants making their mark in that Australian jerseys, so with eyes on a World Cup in 2026. Look, the final game of the weekend, end of Rugby League in 2024, was the Kiwis taking on the PNG Orchids. This was a relegation / promotion game for the Pacific Cup, and after New Zealand lost to Tonga last week, they were playing in this game. So, look, obviously they wanted to get this win because they would not want to be playing the Pacific Bowl. And look, that's no disrespect to PNG. If they could come up with a win against them, they fully deserved it. But New Zealand, they were just too strong a side to not get this win. I thought I did tip New Zealand in the first place. Casey McLean, a late call-up for Will Warbrick, and wow, 4 tries on his international debut. He's only 18 years of age, from the Penrith Panthers club, so wow, what a bright future he has in this game of rugby league. No doubt we'll be seeing him in the Kiwis colours for years to come, and obviously the Penrith Panthers side as well, especially now that Taruva has left for the Tigers. I guess he could put his hand up for that vacant wing spot. Jermaine Asako got a triple as well, and 7 out of 10 conversions. Look, it was 22 points to 6 at half time. It was 12-6 for a long time there. The PNG side really stuck in there. Sylvester Namo scored the first try for them in the 20th minute, and it got back. They got within 6 points of that. They had a few tries disallowed, unfortunately, due to being offside from a kick, and there was another reason as well for another try. But look, if one of those tries had been allowed and confirmed, and if they could have got back to 12 all, potentially this could have been a different game altogether, but it wasn't to be. And look, they now go down to the Pacific Bowl, and the Kiwis, they stay in the Pacific Cup along with Australia and Tonga as well. So, as I said, it was Sean Johnson's last ever rugby league game. It was his last ever test match for the Kiwis. There was a nice touch after the game with the New Zealand side sending him off with a haka. And also Sean Johnson himself, he kicked the last goal for New Zealand. They gave him the last kick. Jermaine Asako is the regular kicker, but they gave Sean, as you do when a retiring player is retiring from either club football or representative football, they tend to give them the last kick at goal if they score a try or get a penalty. But he got one. I think he also missed one as well. One hit the post as well. It was a little bit like Jonathan Thurston style from the tee from the 20 metres back on the sideline. It didn't curve as much as JT's one, but it definitely hit the post. And a nice gesture from Sean Johnson after the game as well. He spotted a young kid in the crowd wearing a Warriors hat and also a Kiwis jersey, and gave that little fan his playing jersey as well. So, look, a nice little gesture. He basically said to him, look, you can have this. Can you look after it for me, please? And gave him the jersey. So that will be a memory that little kid will never forget from Sean Johnson. And look, it just shows you what a type of player and type of person Sean Johnson is. So, look, on behalf of myself as well, I've watched your whole career, Sean. Congratulations on a great career, both in the NRL and also internationally as well. You weren't going to come back in this series, but you did mention in another podcast that if Stacey Jones sent out the SOS, that you never knock back playing for New Zealand. So, look, you came back and you it was like you never left the international arena. It was like you never left the NRL, to be honest. And it was great to see you back in those Kiwi colours and playing great football again as well for them. And look, you are going to be missed by the fans of Rugby League, especially the New Zealand fans, the Warriors fans, New Zealand fans, and general Rugby League fans as well. So we wish you all the best in retirement. Who knows? Could there be a round 0 comeback for the Warriors in Las Vegas? I don't think there will be, but you never know. So, look, that is Rugby League done and dusted for 2024. Look, a few of the NRL teams are back at pre-season training. My club, the Parramatta Eels, included. They went back last week. So, look, these representative players, they'll have an extended period of time off, as they always do after a international series. So they probably will come back early next year, maybe late this season, but definitely early next year after a well-deserved break. And look, we just look forward now to the NRL draw being released soon. I will be doing a podcast on that one as well, checking out which games I'll be hopefully attending. There will be a Parramatta Eels home and away jersey and also training attire podcast coming out with great man Tom from Retro Rugby League coming soon, so stay tuned for that one. I don't know when that one will be, but that will be happening. And obviously over the next couple of weeks as well, there still is the interview-based podcast as well. So we've got Glenn Gorick, we've got Chris Johns, we've got Richie Barnett, and we've got Adam Blair to round out the season as well. So stay tuned for who's coming up on the podcast, and we still have those interviews to come as well on the podcast. So still a little bit of rugby league content coming your way. And look, I'll always be active on the social media channels as well, so Facebook and Instagram. So if you give that one a follow as well, I'll be posting some stuff here and there on those social media channels. But as far as on-field action, that's it for 2024. I hope you've enjoyed Rugby League season 2024. And look, the Paracave podcast, they will be back bigger and better in 2025 when it comes to reviews, previews, both Parramatta and the NRL as well, tipping podcasts as well. So stay tuned for those, hopefully in 2025, planning on a big year. So thank you very much for listening. I really appreciate it. If you like this one, share it with your family and friends. It will be available on Apple and Spotify, and also give the Instagram page a follow and the Facebook page as well. Just a quick shout out, thank you very much to the 1100 followers on Instagram. I really appreciate the support there. Hopefully it can grow and grow and grow. But thank you very much. And look, I'll sign off this podcast by saying the Paracave podcast, by the fan, for the fans, and go Australia.
Hello, Paracave podcast listeners. My name is Shannon Cooney from Glenmore Park Realty and long-term sponsor of the Paracave podcast. If you're looking to sell your property or buy, or just curious to know what your property is worth in today's market, give me a call today on 0421 588 445.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the Paracave Podcast. See you next time.